We need to go out more clearly and say, guys, wake up.
So Felix, you have been my mentor. Frankly, the reason I'm here at Magnet, the reason I'm a CEO right now, you've been my mentor for over a decade. And the thing I've always loved so dearly is your commitment to people in general. Not just me, but your entire career has been defined by people leadership. Where does that come from?
Well, the first thing is helping people is incredibly gratifying. And we all feel it as human beings, but if you read any research on happiness, it's all rooted in if you can help other people, it makes a huge difference. And as I'm intrigued by that, it really makes me happy to merge my two passions for people and the organizations and to make people better leaders.
Leadership, as you see it, in manufacturing. Now, you've worked with many, many big companies. You're part owner in a family business in a smaller company. So you've seen leadership in every possible angle here. What do you see them doing really well, and how does that translate to what our manufacturers need to do today?
On the journey, I would say successful leaders never finish the journey. Because the moment you declare victory, you have failed. Right? Leadership is continuous. Now, what makes successful leaders? And I think the first thing that makes a successful leader is to have a vision, a direction for the organization. And I'm really getting upset when people say, oh, it's all about people and embracing people. No. If your organization is not going in the right direction, it doesn't matter, right? And running an organization is not a democracy. You need to rally people behind a cause, and you need to bring the inspiration to it. That's the first part. So it sounds like I'm not so committed to the people. But I think if you do not have that, the rest becomes dysfunctional. Now, once you have that and you have your people co-create it and own it with you, then it's all about the people, right? But once we have clear direction, that it's clear what you are accountable for, I'm totally switching my mode and I'm saying, what does it take to make Ethan successful? Not what does it take to reach the goal, but what does it take to make Ethan successful?
We've debated this. We've talked about this. Does this exist in manufacturers today?
It is hard. And I would say all of us slip, right? I have slipped. Right? Even though that's a deeply held philosophy, you're under pressure, you don't have time, and you start yelling commands. We all do that, and therefore the journey is never ending. You constantly need to keep your ego under control and remind yourself what really matters.
Can you say more about what you mean by ego under control?
We all have egos, especially successful leaders. And the one thing that is so important is you gotta separate your ideas from your ego. So if I'm saying we should enter the French market, right? And you say, Felix, this is the worst idea I've ever heard, you have attacked my idea, not my ego. So I must be able to say, tell me more. And not say, why do you attack my ego? Because you didn't attack my ego, you attacked my idea. And to separate your idea from your ego is what most people fail to do.
So how does that take you into reflection point? Because this is a beautiful confluence of all those things.
Well, that's an interesting journey. As you know, my wife Anne deserves all the credit for creating Reflection Point. But I was a skeptic, right, at first, because what Reflection Point is, for those of you that don't know, is you basically bring a group of people in a room, you have them read a story before, and then you have a facilitated dialogue about the story. where the facilitator brings out certain nuances and asks people to reflect on it and to think what it means for them. And I said, well, I don't know. And then my wife Ann, under false pretenses, lured me into a discussion with a group of college professors that had facilitated. And they were talking about what happened in those sessions, right? That people stepped back and reflected and said, this is really horrible behavior. And then somebody else saying, but I have done that. And then somebody else saying, oh, my Uncle Jimmy, who I love, would do this all the time, but it's abusive, isn't it, right? And so people were suddenly willing to talk about things that make us functional and dysfunctional and reflect on it and basically make a contract with each other about how they want to navigate the world. And I was sitting there and I said, shoot. At McKinsey, we have those organizational effectiveness workshops that I was talking about, right? I have never, ever been able to get a client to agree to spend $10 million to do those workshops all the way to the front line. Because they say, oh, come on, mindsets and behaviors and organization. No. But you need to get to the front line because those are the people that know how it works. And reflection point, in my opinion, is exactly the missing link that allows you to scale this work to the front line without breaking the bank.
I'm going to switch talking about now the region and manufacturing in general. How do you feel about the progress we've made and where we need to go as a Northeast Ohio region?
So I'm biased, right? I'm highly biased. I think, especially thanks to your leadership, we have made a huge contribution. We want to get 3,000 people out of the inner city, out of the justice system, to enter into manufacturing careers. We are on the journey. We will get there. But when we do that, not only do we support manufacturing, but we solve a huge inequity problem in our region, right? The people that are coming out of the justice system don't find careers right now. And you heard the interview with one of the guys who said, I was so desperate, I thought I would have to go back to the old way to make money, which we all know was criminal, right? And then the magnet program came along, and now I'm in a manufacturing career, and I'm proud, and my kids can look up to me, etc. So I think on talent, we're making a huge difference. And I think what we still need to do, we need to wake up the region more strongly on this is about innovation, and it is about embracing automation, Industry 4.0, you name what it is. We have made progress, right? I'm proud of the progress we've made, but that's where we still need to go a lot further.
You'll be pleased to know, you don't know this yet, our most recent data shows that the adoption rates of Industry 4.0 technologies across our medium and small companies have doubled in the last 5 years. Doubled.
Fabulous.
It's great. The scary part is there's still 70 or 80% of people who are doing absolutely nothing.
And we probably need to go out more clearly and say, guys, wake up. If you are not embracing Industry 4.0 automation, whatever you want to call it, smart manufacturing, here are the reasons why your company won't exist anymore in 10 years. It will be gone. Do you want to preside over a vanishing company? Right? Do you really want to preside over a vanishing company? And most people will say, no, I don't want to do that, right? But I think we need to make it clear to them that it is this wave that is coming will hit manufacturing as hard as the low-cost sourcing wave hit us in the 90s. And if we don't embrace it, somebody else will embrace it, and we are gone. And that's probably what we need to be more aggressive about, is to say, guys, wake up. It's a huge opportunity, but it's also a huge threat out there.
What do you say to any leaders out there in Northeast Ohio of manufacturing companies? Just carte blanche.
I would say the era ahead of us is an era of opportunity. You got to grab the opportunity, and those that grab it will go on a fabulous journey. The time has never been better to truly embrace, to truly redefine your business.